Oh, that door actually worked this time. Half the time it doesn't open anymore for some reason. The electronic door lock. Got to use the good old-fashioned key, speaking of that. And it's not it. Here we go. Get ready for Drone Central, baby. Oh, yeah. So if you're wondering where the spray bomb, I shouldn't say spray bomb, YouTube will probably demonetize me. If you're wondering where the new rattle can, spray can of custom mixed silver paint came from, it's actually not for the vet. I don't know what I would need to paint on the vet. It's actually for this pretty little thing. Now we're on the wrong side, but if you guys remember, in the last F350 video, I did a little body work. It looks like crap now, I know. I don't know what I'm doing, in case you are wondering, but that's what this here custom mixed rattle can is for. Now, I didn't know my local O'Reilly's mixed custom paint and could put it in a spray can, but I've been there so frequently getting parts for the F350 that they do custom mixed paint. So we're not going to get to doing this today. The reason I got the paint today was because I thought I was going to start on this today, but mixed events made it so that it's now 3 in the afternoon, and because I'm in New Hampshire and it's the winter time, it's going to be dark in about 45 minutes. But it's warm today, and it's going to be warm tomorrow. Warm as in 49 degrees, I think it's going to be. But that's almost 50, so that means it's basically warm enough to paint. So we've got our paint ready to go. Tomorrow morning, I'll get up, and as soon as it's warm enough out, I'll start sanding this down, I'll start sanding these areas down, and then we'll finally get to painting so I can clean this up, because I hate driving around with it looking like this. So I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. It won't be that early, and it won't be that bright either, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. It'll be a little bit later in the morning. So it's finally, you know, the sun is actually in the sky, and it'll be above 20 degrees. See you then.
1 pair of pants later.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is paint day. So you know what that means. We are painting. That's right. So it's actually a beautiful day. It's just about 50 degrees, which is so odd because it's December 6th right now. December 6th. The 6th day of December 2022, in case you were wondering. And it's 50 degrees, which is odd. So I was going to warm the truck up. We really don't have to, but I'm going to let it run for a few minutes. We have to move the C5 vet out of the way. I don't think there's anything else in the way, so we can tape up, except for we're not really going to tape off that much because I'm going to try to blend this, but I do have to clean the area, give it another sanding, and then we'll throw the color on it. And just a heads up, this is not an informational video because I am an idiot. I'm not a body person. I'm not a painter. I've done a few little projects, and this is one of them. It's more entertainment of watching an idiot attempt things. That's really what my channel is. So we're going to start the truck up, get it in the front, move the vet, start painting, start sanding. So I can move the Corvette? Huh? No, not playtime, it's work time. Hey, give me the ball. Give me the ball, huh? Oh, you're tied up, you can't go very far. What about you? What did you, what was that? All you want to do is play, huh? All you want to do is play, huh? Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Wow, this thing is making some noise back here. Wow. Again, I'm no painter, and oh, thank God, I thought that was a little chip already. But we've got a pretty hard line here from where I taped off to prime. So what I'm going to do first, sand this down with some, I don't know what grit I have here. I'm going to sand that down first, get it all nice and smooth, kind of blend that hard line, clean up that area. And then I don't even think I'm going to tape off any of this because I kind of want to blend it a little bit. So I think that's the best way to do it. Again, I'm not a painter, not very good at this. I'm really not very good at anything. So I've been told by my dad. So we'll give it a whirl. All right, the sanding is done, and I must say, it actually came out way better than I was expecting. It's nice and smooth. The hard line is gone. It's nice and blended in. So now I'm gonna clean up the area and try to get a coat of paint on this thing before it rains, which it's supposed to in like 15 minutes. This is too big to fit in the garage, so I'm just gonna have to cover it with a tarp or something so it doesn't get wet. Mother Nature really doesn't like me and this truck. Every single time I try to work on it. All right, well, according to the Weather Channel app, I have 8 minutes until it's supposed to start raining. So there's no way I'm gonna be able to get a coat of paint on this thing to cover it up, protect it, and have the paint not get ruined by the water, by the rain. So I'm in the backyard and I'm gonna have to fashion some sort of paint booth out of a tarp just to cover the area that I'm painting, because the temperature is still beautiful. It's still above 50 degrees. I can paint, I just need it to be dry. And I have like a pop-up tent kind of thing, but the truck is too tall. Everyone thinks being tall is so easy. Oh, you can reach things in the top shelf. Oh, you got a big truck. Yeah, well, you know, I hit my head on doorways and I can't fit my truck in the garage. This might work perfectly. Oh yeah. I'll have to get another tarp to cover the old tractor, but this will work for now. What is it stuck on? All right, how's that for redneck, huh? I tried to get that thing to open. It was stuck. It started to sprinkle, so I kind of just in a rush made this. But the nice thing is, it's actually kind of nice.
Look amazing! Look at that! That looks like what you would buy from a store. It should have been. Look at all this floor space. So much. You do aerobics in here.
It's dry under here. It hasn't really started to pour yet, but it's dry. Everything's covered. So I just used rubbing alcohol and a microfiber to clean this. Unfortunately, I don't have any acetone. I don't have any wax and grease remover. So upon a little bit of research, it said I could use that. All right, so it's time to get painting. Here's our spray bomb spray can. Spray can. It's a spray can. YouTube, please don't demonetize me. I need to pay for diesel. Well, I don't know if you guys can see that. The paint is dried for a few minutes, my first coat, and it's almost like it's orange peeling on contact. I don't know if the paint is not doing well with, come on, focus. I don't know if the paint's not doing well with the rubbing alcohol that I used, but it is not laying down very good. The back doesn't look bad. That one doesn't look bad at all for a first coat. It's up here. Does not look good.
And we can start story time.
So it may look like the truck is right back where it was, hasn't moved, still under its custom, yeah, we'll call it that, custom paint booth. But actually, lots has happened to the truck in the past 24 hours. It's almost exactly 24 hours right now from where we left off yesterday. And the truck has done quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit of truck things. If you're a real observant viewer, you'll see that the tow mirrors actually are still out. Well, this one you can see, that one hidden under the custom paint booth. So where we left off yesterday, there was nothing that I could do to the paint. Obviously, the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol, the denatured alcohol, whatever you want to call it, isopropyl alcohol that I used as a wax and grease remover did not work. So when they say don't believe everything you read off the internet, don't. Believe those people. Unless they're from the internet, then you don't know if you can trust them or not. But anyways, there was nothing I could do. The paint did not like sitting on top of that rubbing alcohol. I don't know if the rubbing alcohol didn't evaporate entirely, even though there was about 5 minutes between using the rubbing alcohol and putting down the first coat of paint. Regardless, it's in the past. Learn from my many mistakes. Don't use rubbing alcohol. It just, in this case, for some reason, it didn't work. But it was kind of a blessing in disguise because my uncle, who works at Dodge, just happened to text me, tell me that the key fob that I needed for the Dodge Charger that was right there, the key fob that I need for that Dodge Charger, that Charger hasn't made an appearance on the channel. It's mainly a car that I'm working on and selling, but it needs a new key fob made. And it needed to be done at Dodge because I needed an actual new key fob and I needed it programmed to that car. So he texted me, said that my key fob was in and that if I could drop the car off, that would be great. I also just so happened to be giving my other uncle a ride, the uncle who has the car trailer that I use. So I needed to give him a ride from BMW back up to his house where the trailer is. So everything worked out great. I went and picked up my uncle, dropped him off at his house, hooked up the trailer, drove back to my house. There was an accident, so I was really late. So I woke up the next morning. I went to O'Reilly's to get some proper, actual wax and grease remover, not acetone like I had here that did not work when I was doing the primer. I then went back to my house. I grabbed the truck, hooked up the trailer, put the Charger on it, drove it up to Dodge, dropped it off there, dropped the trailer off at my uncle's, came home, pulled the truck to exactly where it sits now, and here it is. So the next step is to sand down the bad paint where it almost like orange peeled where the paint came in contact with the rubbing alcohol that hadn't dried. I'm going to use 800 grit again to just sand that down because it's very, very fine anyways. It's not very piled up high. I'll get that smooth again, basically like we started yesterday. It's like we're doing that again today. Then once that's all smooth again, we're going to use the actual wax and grease remover that I got from O'Reilly's, the good stuff. We're going to use that in a tack cloth, wipe everything down, and then start applying the color. Coats are laying down so much nicer than they were yesterday, especially on the back. It's kind of hard to tell with the cardboard down here because like there it's making a reflection to make it look like it's not smooth, but it is actually pretty damn smooth. Now I didn't mask off anything else up here because the way I think that this is going to blend is just for the overspray to kind of just coat it to get rid of any harsh line I would have taping like we did with the primer. Again, I'm not a body person. That's probably not the best way to do it. But for a driveway job under a tarp on December 7th, when it's just over 50 degrees, this I think is going to look pretty damn good. All right, so the third coat is on, and it's really kind of hard to tell how it looks from here with all the reflections of the cardboard and stuff, but my initial thoughts are it came out really, really nice, actually. You know, I didn't expect this to be exactly a 100% perfect professional job, but from my initial thoughts, it's looking not too bad. So tomorrow, We'll take a look at it when it's actually sunny out and not, we're not under a tarp in the rain, so we can get a better idea of how it's at after it dries for a bit. We can pull all the cardboard and newspaper out of the way and see what the final product looks like. All right, guys, so it is a few days later. I let the truck sit, let the paint kind of cure. It's kind of hard to cure when it's not that warm outside, but I didn't drive it. But go figure, a few days later, it snowed. It snowed. So I was waiting to show you guys all the shots once the paint finally dried and cured. And then it snowed. I drove the truck and it just got covered with salt. The truck turned white. So what I did was I at least sprayed it off so that the salt and stuff wasn't on there. It's still not very warm out, so it's not really washing weather. But you can get a pretty good idea, pretty good look at how it came out. I'm standing all the way back here because it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but for a winter patch, I think it looks really, really good. But the problem with looking at it back here is it looks like it's so dark down there, but that's the reflection of the also gray side step. So it's really kind of hard to get an idea of how it actually came out because it's in such a hard spot on the truck. But if you look closely, it's definitely not perfect. Again, with the freaking shadows. So again, it's definitely not perfect. This is really a winter patch. I know this isn't gonna last forever, but it looks 1,000 times better than the brown spots of rust do. I can tell you that. So let me know what I could have done differently or should have done differently. Give me any ideas down in the comments below. But thank you guys very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy motoring.